Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Natasha and I do book things here. Today's video is going to be an introduction to a new series on my channel called Stephen King Sundays. And what Stephen King Sundays are going to be Sundays in which I talk about Stephen King. Just say, you may not think that I have 52 or even like 26 different Stephen King topics to talk about, but like, oh, I do. So yeah, I wanted to come up with something fun on my channel that could sort of be my own, like, I want to say like niche little thing that like if you randomly stumble across my channel and you're like, this girl puts out random Stephen King videos every Sunday. I just wanted something fun that I could talk about basically. Oh, I just realized I forgot to put my bar back up. There we go. I realized lately that I've been like deep diving into all things Stephen King like pretty intensely, so I just feel like I have so many different things to talk about. First of all, I can do reviews. The man has like 70 books, so I could very easily do reviews on his books on Sundays, as well as any sort of movie reviews, like book to movie adaptations, the books that I currently own, the books that I am bringing in, the books that I've read, the works that his sons put out, so books by Joe Hill, like, The Fireman, books by Owen King, as well as just like all the things that Stephen King has done like in his life. For those of you who are unaware, he is a really sort of like funny, amazing speaker, and his Twitter is actually hilarious. Like some of the stuff he tweets just kills me. It's so funny. I figured it would just be sort of fun to have a place where we can talk about all those kind of things and just discuss, because why not, right? I don't think this is going to be weekly, but then again, I do have a lot of things I want to talk about, so it very well might be weekly. At the very least, I'd like to do 2 a month, so bi-weekly Stephen King Sundays. Now that I kind of told you guys what it's going to be, I kind of want to start off with my own personal history with reading Stephen King's work. So when I was in middle school, moving into high school, anywhere from the ages of sort of like 9 to 18, but mostly like 9 to 14, I want to say, going to my small town little library. I kind of want to go back to this library like now just to see sort of like how it looks like. Anyway, but I used to go to my library all the freaking time, and my family had a family business that was actually like just down the road. Like we had like one main street in our small town. Like it's a small town, guys. There's like 8,000 people, kind of small town. Basically, I would be at the family business like all throughout the summer. We had like a flooring business, so like carpet, hardwood and stuff, so we had like a warehouse and a lot of space to sort of run around. And what I would do is I would go to the library, grab books, like sit there, like look through books, and that's really sort of started my love for reading. Then I'd bring my sort of like haul of books back to our business, and it's kind of funny. I was such a weird kid now that I think back. My mom got me a literal like one-person tent and put it in her office. I would literally be like camping in her office reading my books. And I mean, for the most part, she didn't really care like what I was bringing back. I brought back like the entire works of Shakespeare, like this big. I was bringing back like Charles Dickens, Anne Rice, obviously Stephen King, which I'll talk about, but I was bringing back all kinds of stuff and just reading them. And I felt like I read so many things so quickly. But because I was a kid and I had no real sort of like, great knowledge of the world, I was reading these books, but I wasn't really absorbing them or, and fully understanding them basically, because I was reading things completely out of like my age range. I read nearly as critically as I read now. So I can remember being about 11 or 12 when I stumbled across Stephen King, just, in the adult section, and I just saw like, so many works that he had, and like they all looked kind of spooky. Like I remember like, going to a horror section, and I was already like a weird fucking kid then, so I was like, ooh, horror, yeah, horror movies. And I think the first book that I picked up was Pet Sematary, I want to say, and I read that and I remember being like super spooked, because it's about like dead pets and like a dead kid basically that comes back to life. And remember reading it and just going, this is great, like this is I freaking love this is wonderful. I never read anything like it. Haven't read very much stuff like that really even since, and so that started my love for Stephen King. So I ended up reading Pet Sematary, Carrie, The Shining, I think stuff for like his lesser known works that like to be honest, I can't tell you now what it was, but those are the 3 that I know I definitely read. Oh, I read it. Yeah, no, I definitely read it in high school. And then I reread it in my 20s. I reread it again in 2017, and then I have this copy which I'll reread again. And then he's always just sort of been there, like as somebody who loves horror and horror movies. You can't really like move through your life like that without hearing about Stephen King. It's always sort of been there. And then just recently I realized, like, why am I not collecting his work? And like, I actually want to, you know, read all of his stuff and talk about it. I think he's just a really fascinating guy. The amount of work that he puts out, the stuff that he writes about, just a funny character. Yeah, definitely was like an 11-year-old in my mom's office in a tent reading Pet Sematary. Like that's where it started for me. So moving on with my Stephen King, I'm obviously trying to collect all of his work. I am trying to collect different editions, like very specific editions that I'm collecting. I'm also trying to reread all of his work as an adult because, you know, I may have read his work back like 15 years ago, but I definitely don't remember like everything about it, you know? So that's something that I want to do. Quickly losing light. It is getting dark, so I'm gonna wrap up this video. I hope you guys are excited for Stephen King Sundays. I'm gonna be talking about like all things around this, like, you know, kooky man that he is. I do hope you guys enjoy it. It's a little bit kooky, I know, and it may not be everyone's taste, and I'm not gonna be talking about horror stuff all the time. Like, I'm gonna be talking about, you know, some of his funny tweets and like interviews and some Joe Hill stuff and stuff like that. So I'm excited for it. And yeah, 2018 is going to be fun, basically, on this channel, and I am pumped. Leave me any comments down below about anything regarding Stephen King that you'd like me to talk about. I obviously haven't read everything, and, you know, I will review things as I go, but if you have something outside of his books or something about his personality or anything like you may have heard, a random trivia fact, let me know down in the comments, because I'd love to sort of add it to my list and like do a little bit more research and stuff. So yeah, I do hope you guys are doing good, and until my next video, I will talk to all of you soon. Bye!